Hey everyone, it is Abby. How are you? Hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas day yesterday or Christmas Eve the day before. If you had to work, hopefully it wasn't too hard. Thank you for working so that the rest of us could take time off to enjoy with our family and friends. We appreciate you. Um, Wanted to get back into things today. Today we have an email that came in from a woman whose husband knows no physical boundaries around other women. Um, I have had some personal experience being on the receiving end of that, um, but we'll share that later. So let's grab a smoke and get into it. All right, here we go. It says, we have been married for a year now. We recently moved to a new flat, and I've noticed he's getting quite cozy with a female neighbor who lives a floor beneath us. We're on the sixth floor, and she is on the fifth floor. Most of the meetups are at night. A little backstory. He brews delicious herb tea, and a month ago he decided to make some profit from it by selling it to close friends and neighbors. I didn't know she was one of his clients until one time he left the house at 1 a.m. to deliver coffee to her house. I'm assuming that was tea. Um, anyway, he was gone for quite some time, and when I asked about it, he said he stayed with her and had the tea with her because he felt he had to make up for the late delivery. He was a couple minutes late with the delivery, and so he felt he had to make up for it by inviting her to chat and share an extra cup of tea together on the balcony. Please note in capital letters, it's at midnight, in this case, 1 a.m. I was mad about it because he could have easily apologized to her for being late and offered to make up for it by giving her free tea the next day. I've noticed she makes her orders from 10 p.m. and never during the day or earlier, like let's say 7 p.m. It's always at odd hours, and whenever he makes her deliveries to her, he always notices, I always notice he spends extra time with her. I've asked him about it. He says they just have small casual conversations before he leaves, and most of the time she is the one initiating it. Since he feels it would be rude to dismiss her, he stays and has chats with her. Yesterday, he was out on the balcony with her, chatting for about an hour. I was concerned and went to check up on him and saw them hugging goodbye. I asked about it and he lied about hugging her, saying he wouldn't hug a client because it's unprofessional. He only confused he only confessed to hugging her after I told him I saw them hugging. We talked about the whole thing yesterday, and he insisted the conversations were innocent and he never wants to be rude by dismissing her. Here are the reasons I feel some type of way about the whole thing. One, He doesn't spend the same amount of time with other neighbors, especially the female clients. 2, my own husband feels the need to stay out late with another female whenever she wants him to stay longer. He says she is always the one initiating the conversations, and so he has to stay so as not to be rude. 3, he says he only hugs her when she extends her arms and comes in for a hug. 4, he lied about the said hugs when I asked about it, claiming it's unprofessional. I woke up feeling betrayed because he doesn't have the courage to create boundaries with women he meets, who end up thinking he's probably interested in them. Yet he never wants to see me talking to any male neighbors. Am I overreacting? Please note, it's not the first time I've felt he's been too extra with female friends. Well, first thing I would have to suggest is that I would be a little suspicious. Maybe that's not his intention, but the intention of that neighbor lady um, might be a little questionable. Personally, I would suggest telling him if he's going to run it like a business that he needs to set times or boundaries as far as delivery times. Um, tell him these are the hours that I work, these are the hours that I make the deliveries, and if you make a order after that time, you won't get it till the next day. That way, he has some boundaries set for her. Especially with the hopes that she will respect those boundaries and hopefully adjust her ordering time and or expect the deliveries till the next day. If there's any other issues with that, he's going to need to find a way to make that situation. If he's going to continue selling his tea, he needs to find a way to make that situation not so friendly. And if he truly feels that hugging clients is not professional, then he needs to establish that boundary with her as well. He needs to say flat out, I'm here to make the delivery. I have other deliveries to make. Whether he does or not. He had no problem creating a story for you, so he shouldn't have any problem, giving her a reason that he can't stay, or flat out. My wife is upstairs, downstairs, and she's waiting for me. We have something to do. Simple as that. Drop off the tea. Done deal. That would be my biggest suggestion, is he needs to create some boundaries. And if he's going to run it like a business, then he needs to do operating hours, order by this time, etc. if he's truly wanting to keep it professional. Um, I have to say, I understand um, a little bit on the receiving end of that. It kind of hit home to me a little bit. Um, my best friend, um, when she was dating her now husband, uh, he used to be a little too friendly, and um, he always prided himself, which I found kind of rude for him, on being a ladies' man sort of thing, and would wait, make make comments about women in general that were around us or that he would see, and eventually they got married, and he would make comments and little, I don't necessarily know if I would call it passes, but invading personal space would be a good term for it. Um, and as we got married, actually within a few months of each other, um, as time went on, I felt as though, you know, we're married now, we've made this commitment, um, your glory days are over. But he continued on with his little stories all the time and would take pride in it, and I kind of felt bad for her. Um, and he used to, do little things like grabbing my side, or, trying to tickle me in some kind of way, and, you know, or would make a comment that was, oh, that shirt, your boobs are really sticking out of it, or whatever. Um, and it was uncomfortable for me because I thought to myself, hey, I'm married, man. You're saying this about someone else's wife. That's really not cool. And, she kind of would always turn the other way because she's sort of a non confrontational type person. And it made me almost feel guilty. Um, and I wasn't even the one initiating it or asking for it or anything like that. Um, and I noticed how uncomfortable she felt. So finally, I said, "Hey, man, if we're hugging goodbye or hello or something, okay. But yeah, the personal space isn't cool, man. You're married, I'm married. That's my best friend. What what's going on here? That's not cool at all." So, just in having that little conversation with him and pulling him aside was enough to at least curb his behavior towards me. Maybe you need to sit down and tell him, especially because you said he's being too extra with female friends as well. Um, Tell him, hey, you're married now. We are in this together, and the only one you should be putting your hands on is me. Um, I could definitely see where that's an uncomfortable situation for sure. I would not be cool with that. I would definitely be saying something. Um, and if it's something that he is not going to curb in any way, then I would start questioning whether or not something else was going on with the two of them. especially since he's only doing that with her. That's kind of odd as well. You know, I don't want to break up anybody's marriage, and I'm no therapist or anything of that sort, but um, there's just certain kind of behaviors when you're with someone, even if you're not married. Um, Not cool. Not cool at all to be extra, as you said. Yes, extra. Um, anyway, what do you guys think? Um, Leave a comment below. Let's see if we can't help her out. I mean, do you think his behavior is suspicious? Do you think it's all him, or is it the woman that's ordering the tea? What kind of advice would you give this poor woman who's married, um, as far as what she should do, how she should approach the situation? Leave it in the comments below. Today, our shout out goes to Robert Dareberry. Hey, Robert. Hi. Hope you're doing great. Um, anyway, leave your comments in the comments below. Help our algorithms. Ugh, word I don't like saying. Um, but anyway, leave your comments for her. Let her know what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.